Hey, I'm Mike Beckerell, and today we're going to take a look at how Joe Pass and Joe Diorio both use the Coltrane pattern to outline the changes. Let's take a look. The Coltrane pattern is a pattern that John Coltrane used a lot on Giant Steps and a lot of those other tunes he wrote during that time period, and the pattern boils down to 1, 2, 3, 5 over whichever chord you're playing. In this case, it's usually major. So I'm in the key of G, play G, A, B, D. Years ago, I learned the solo from Giant Steps, and you get a pretty good workout playing these patterns. And it keeps going. But you can see right there, I already used it twice in just the first like 3 measures of the solo. John Coltrane definitely popularized this pattern, and it became a part of the essential jazz vocabulary of everyone that followed. And I first noticed Joe Pass using it on the solo to Have You Met Miss Jones from the album Chops. And here's the line he plays. So let's take a look at what's going on here. So he's playing over a G major 7. And he plays the notes D, E, F sharp, A, and then he walks down a G triad. G, D, B, G. When I first came across this line, I kind of figured he was just playing out of the G major scale, because these notes are all out of G major. It's just the 5th, 6th, 7th, and the 2nd. But I was talking about this line with Bruce Foreman in one of our lessons, and he pointed out, it's like, yeah, you could think that it's from G major, but really what he's doing is he's playing D7 and resolving it to G. And we can hear that's really strong resolution there. So that's what's going on, is he's playing the 5 chord and the 1 chord and quickly resolving it. So this is something that we can take and move to all of our different shapes. And you can move this all over the guitar. And there's a lot of options for fingerings too. And so try to work out a couple and take this idea and move it around. So that was my first real exposure thinking about how to use this pattern, is to kind of outline a quick 5-1. But then I was learning a solo by Joe Diorio this week, and he does this line. So let's take a look at what's going on there. So he starts here in A flat. He plays the pattern. 1, 2, 3, 5. And he goes to D and plays the pattern again. And he lands on a G. Now this G, this is over a C minor 7 chord. It goes G, it goes to flat 7, slurs down, and walks down the arpeggio down to an A. And then he jumps up to a F, an F7. And he walks down, so it goes F, D, E flat twice, down to D, and walks C, C flat, B flat, down to A. And the A resolves to the 7th of a B flat major chord. So if I play the whole line again. So let's take this line piece by piece. We're going to ignore the first 4 notes for now. So we have the pattern in D. We land on a G. But we're playing over a C minor 7 chord. So he's using the pattern to outline the 5th of the chord. So this got me thinking, can I do this on any chord tone? And I started exploring it, and it's really interesting how this works. And so I came up with a little exercise here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a C triad. And I'm going to use the Coltrane pattern to enclose each one of these notes. So remember that when you use the Coltrane pattern to enclose a note, you start on the 5th below, and then your 3rd and 4th note, the 3 and 5 of the pattern, enclose the note you're aiming for. So what I think is important is to not try to think too much about this, but just to try to visualize the pattern. So basically, as I'm playing this with this fingering, it'll change with different fingerings. Well, with this fingering, wherever my 2nd finger lands on the next string is the chord tone I'm aiming for. So I'm just going for, starting around that. So there I enclose my root. Now I'm going to close my 3rd. So I'm going to do a B Coltrane pattern. which lands me on an E. Then I'm going to close my fifth. I did a D pattern. There you go. So as you can see, there's some really interesting sounds there that you can utilize. And each one of them just serves to strengthen the chord tone you're landing on. I can do this over a major 7 as well. And again, some more interesting sounds there. Of course, I can try this on any chord type: dominant 7s, minor 7s, major 7s, minor 7 flat 5s. Now, to go back to the Joe Diorio line, he starts a tritone below where he's going. So we figured out that the purpose of this line is to get to this D to enclose this G of the C minor 7. But when he starts a tritone lower, and so you can take each one of these patterns and begin a tritone below it, and then work your way to the root. So if I did that over C, D flat, G, land on my C. I'm going to do that over the third. Got it right there. So I hope you can get something out of this. It's a really simple 4-note pattern that you could use to really add a lot of color to what you're doing and to help enclose your chord tones in more creative, different ways. So thanks for checking out the lesson. Keep practicing. I'll see you next time.